Hi, I'm attorney Gregory Dell, and today I'm joined by attorney Stephen Jessup, and we're going to talk to you about long-term disability insurance claims dealing with Parkinson's disease. Now, when we deal with these conditions, such as Parkinson's, it's not that the disability insurance company is saying, no, you don't have Parkinson's. This is one of the classic disability claims where they say, look, your diagnosis doesn't equal disability. And that's very challenging for people who have Parkinson's and have reached a point where they feel that they can't work. What is the resistance that you often see from disability insurance companies about Parkinson's disease?
I would have to say it's what you mentioned, Greg. It's that fact that a lot of times you can have the condition for a while, similar to like a multiple sclerosis where you have it for a while. You can continue to function, do what it is you're doing, but the condition's progressive in nature, obviously. But the carrier always wants to know, well, if you've been dealing with it with X number of years, what's going to prevent you from working? That's always the biggest one. They want you to prove up how it's going to relate over to the inability to do the job. You're right, they're never going to argue you don't have Parkinson's. It's a matter of how that Parkinson's in relation to what your job is it preventing you from doing?
Yeah, what bothers me a lot about, especially with the claim denials we see for Parkinson's, is the person's been battling it or has known about it for years. They've done whatever they can to try to manage it, and now they get to the point where they say, I can't work anymore. And there's no test to tell them really whether or not they can work or not anymore, but then the disability insurance company goes out and runs video surveillance on this person and shows them with their family, going to the grocery store, functioning normal, because they can still function with normal daily activities, but they can't do their job, and then they try to say, well, look, you can function normal daily activities, why can't you do your job?
Yeah. And obviously, going to the grocery store, if they catch you on snippets of video surveillance, that's no way correlates over the course of being able to work, 40 hours a week.
Right, and then obviously we get into the cognitive impacts of somebody who has, whether it's the psychological or the cognitive impairment with the ability to focus on what you're doing at your work, and a disability insurance carrier trying to say, well, we know you have Parkinson's, we don't think it's disabling, but you're claiming you have some kind of cognitive issues, which we think are, let's just say they say it's depression or anxiety, and you're disabled as a result of the depression, not the Parkinson's, and now we're only going to pay you for 2 years because we have a 2-year mental nervous limitation. So, I mean, we don't make this stuff up. It's pathetic that we see this as a reoccurring theme from these disability insurance companies, that they're taking advantage of claimants and denying benefits to people who are, who can't do their job. What other things in terms of your claimants who have Parkinson's, what are some of the most difficult things they tell you that they experience that prevents them from being able to do their job? And let's say, for example, if you were representing a person who has a sedentary job, like an office job, like most people have.
I think the majority, I have a handful of clients with Parkinson's, or their doctors are still trying to solidify a diagnosis, so they're saying dystonia and actions like that. A lot of times the thing that becomes the most disabling, whether it be sedentary, I represent also people in the medical profession, it is the actual when the tremors do start. Can you sit? Yeah, you can sit, but the issue becomes if you're sedentary jobs usually mean there's always some type of level of computer use, stuff like that, and it becomes hard to control that shaking, the trembling. And then I have clients who say that when that starts, they can't help but ruminate on it. It's all they think about. They think they just can't. And then, it's just a downward spiral from there. Obviously, anyone who's struck with such a, devastating progressive condition, especially since a lot of times prior to becoming diagnosed, highly functioning, and it's hard for them to deal with that. And this is where it gets in that idea that depression usually does follow because your life is changing in such a dramatic way and you can't control it. So if the insurance carrier can say, well, it's more related to that depression than it is the actual Parkinson's, it's any way that they can combat it and fight. I'd hate to say that this is the reality, but it is.
Right, and then there's obviously the side effects of medication that many of our claimants have complained about. And then when I take the meds, it makes it even more difficult for me to focus or do the job that I have to do. So if you've been diagnosed with Parkinson's and as a result of that, you're unable to perform the duties of your job or any job, feel free to call us, whether you're applying for benefits, considering applying, you have an appeal because your benefit's been denied, or you need to file a lawsuit. No matter what stage you're at, we're happy to review your claim for you. It's a free consultation. We'll let you know right away whether or not we think that we can assist you.